Peace to the family. Today I want to talk about something that's been trending, in the American fabric and across social media, but mainly in the American fabric of life. All right, we talking about the riots and so-called riots in Los Angeles. I'd rather be more specific and say the social protests by Latinos against unfair ICE and immigration activity in the targeted area of Los Angeles and Los Angeles County. All right. These unfair actions by the United States government, Department of Homeland Security, Immigrations and Customs, basically the whole right-wing Republican Party, right? And I hear people in the African American community talking about, we're going to sit this one out. We're going to stay at home on this one. They got to fight their own battles. To me, that's caping for the white supremacists. It's far from promoting justice. It's far from our beloved ancestors, the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., our shining black prince, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, Malcolm X, right? And I hear a lot of people on social media, especially African Americans, that have adapted the white supremacist model of isolationism versus coalition building, right? In a concerted struggle for equal rights and justice for people all over the world. I'm reminded of the eminent scholar, Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, right? And Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, he talked about it in his Philadelphia Negro, where he examined the problems of African-American folk in terms of their development into social consciousness. He developed a thesis about the black underclass, the black middle class, and the black affluent class, right? He talked about that in the Philadelphia Negro. This is a scholarly dissertation and work. Well, I would say it's a theorem at this point, because what he showed and proved in that, we've seen it today. I would say that these people on social media, they're basically talking out of the side of their neck. Everybody's giving their opinions like elbows, right? Really, they're like a quee. They're like a anus, right? Or the pejorative, they're like an asshole, right? But anybody that does that to you, they really don't respect your thinking, right? So that's why I bring up W.E.B. Du Bois, The Souls of Black Folks in this, as well as Dr. Neely Fuller's the United Code Compensatory Code Thought Book for Text, a textbook for thought, word, and action against white supremacy. So check out the code by Dr. Neely Fuller, and check out Souls of Black Folks by W.E.B. Du Bois. But in the Souls of Black Folks, W.E.B. Du Bois, he talks about several things, right? The most popular thing in Souls of Black Folks that people who have studied Dr. Du Bois or even come across lectures or things dealing with Dr. Du Bois would be that he stated that the problem of the 20th century, and now we're in the 21st century, is the problem of the color line, right? And he was specifically speaking of the color line between black and white. But I want to freely take the liberty to put that as a global phenomena. And Dr. Du Bois, he was also talking about it in terms of a global phenomena as well. And I'm saying white male hegemony and the rise of the darker nations of the earth, right? And when I speak of the darker nations of the earth, I'm talking about Africa, the Near East, and the Far East as well, as compared to white male European hegemony. And let me not be remiss, I'm speaking of the South American continent as well. I'm speaking of melanated people from the southern hemisphere of the Americas as well. And in that white male hegemony, I want to include the European nations, the European Union, the United States of America, Canada, nations, dominated by white male hegemony. Okay, so I respect you for watching my channel, and I ask you to like, subscribe, and share the videos as well. But I respect you enough to give you some background where I'm coming from. On a personal level, I would say my interaction with Latino people has been centered around labor, working with the Service Employees International Union, the same union where the president of the union was taken into custody by ICE agents during these protests in Southern California, in Los Angeles, right? So I'm directly affiliated with that same union as well. Not at this particular time, but I've been a part of that union as an organizer and as a mental health technician working in a mental hospital as well. So I know both sides, from the organizing and from actually being a worker in that union. So I've dealt with a lot of Latinos, people from South America in the context to labor and voting. I'll share this story. During the last Senate race in Georgia, Raphael Warnock was up against Herschel Walker, and it was a very, very close vote and a victory for Senator Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock. And I was doing some voter canvassing with a group, Workers to the Front, Workers Unite, out of Phoenix, Arizona. So a lot of Hispanics, a lot of Mexicano people were in this group, and they were campaigning for Dr. Senator Warnock, who happens to be a black man, right? So I personally know that, Latinos have had our backs in terms of, political organizing. All right, we go back to the 60s. Everything was black power, brown power, all power to the people, all power to all people, right? Black power for the black man, brown power for the brown man, right? But flipping back to W.E.B. Du Bois, he talked about that color line. But again, he also talked about double consciousness within the black man. He talked about those two parts of the black man in the wilderness of North America that are at constant angst and struggle against each other, right? That's that black man being born and raised in the United States and coming up under segregation, all sorts of Jim Crow, all sorts of victimization, right? looked at it as a sense of looking at oneself from the perspective, the eyes of other people, right? And that being an internal conflict for the African American and being a black person that denies the full humanity of black people, right? I would also say denies the full humanity of people of color all over the world. Look at the racial stereotypes we have of people of color, right? Just go back in your mind's eye. The slick, sly Asian, right? The lazy, sleeping on the job Mexican. The always thieving and carrying on black person, right? The Asian, the wantonness of her woman, right? Just stereotypes. You have to search your own mind. I'm just trying to get you to think. All right? But today, I'm seeing African Americans taking on the ways of white folks. And I'm not talking about the white folks that stand as allies in the struggle against white supremacy, because we don't judge people based on the color of their skin, but we judge them by what? Their ways and their actions, right? And the content of their character, right? But their ways and their actions, okay? But I'm talking about those right-wing white folks who they only looking for the dollar and a way to subjugate and exploit people, land, and resources, right? I'm saying that African Americans are beginning to take on those same ways. When we say, we're going to sit this one out. We're going to sit this one out. When it comes to black folks, let's see have they helped us? Yes, they have helped us. And we've helped everybody else as well. So just because it's popular and it's trending on these social media outlets and the social media streets, just because everybody's beginning to talk that talk, most of the people that are talking that talk, they have never stepped out and struggled or protest for anybody other than themselves, right? And they would have you, beloved, they would have you to take on their same ways. And if this right-wing government, this mess continues, we in trouble. We all gonna be in trouble. So to sit out this one, and I'm gonna cut it short after this. Not only have African Americans and minorities built this world up by their labor and by their resources, right? By their culture, right? And I'm speaking of the United States of America in particular, and I'm talking about as a function of that, the resources that throughout time that have been raped and pillaged by Europeans from lands of melanated and people of color, right? We built this from the start. In the United States, you've had Africans, you've had Mexicans, you've had Chinese people that have been very influential in building the United States, the infrastructure of the United States, right? So we all been here together. I'm saying that African Americans, if we sit it out, we're gonna lose the moral high ground. We're gonna lose being the consciousness of this nation. Throughout the world, people know, from Germany to Japan, people know that African American people are the heart, soul of the United States, right? Through everything that we've gone through and everything, the indignities that we have suffered, we've held this country up. And for us to say that we're going to sit this one out, if we sit this one out, we're going to lose the moral high ground, right? I'm not telling you to put yourself in danger or put yourself out there in the streets if that's not what you do. Because again, I said most of the people that are talking, they don't do anything anyways. So what I'm saying is, at this point, if you don't have anything good to say about somebody that's getting up, standing up, fighting for their rights, then go somewhere and sit your ass down. Be who you be. Be the quality of the God that you serve. My God is a God of victory. My God is a God of justice. And she's a God of understanding. With that, I say peace. Like, subscribe. Help me grow this channel. I ain't here to entertain you. I'm here to educate you and uplift you. That I say peace.